Alright, folks, picture this: you're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find some spare change for a coffee, and bam, you pull out an old penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that one of those pennies, just a simple, everyday 1961 D Lincoln penny, could be worth $1.1 million? That's right, a single penny could change your life. In today's video, we're diving deep into what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why you should start double-checking every coin in your pocket. Plus, I'll share a little story about how I almost threw away a coin that could have been worth a fortune. Stick around, because you don't want to miss this one. Now, you might be thinking, come on, it's just a penny. What's the big deal? Well, let me hit you with some numismatic magic. The 1961 D penny is special because of a few key factors. Some of these pennies have double die errors, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, making them ultra-rare. If you have one in pristine, uncirculated condition, collectors will pay top dollar. And I mean top dollar. While millions were made, only a few survived in near-perfect condition, making them incredibly sought after by collectors. Okay, so let's say you've got a pile of pennies sitting in a jar. How do you know if one of them is the golden ticket? Here's what to look for. The D stands for Denver, so check for that little letter under the date. If it looks brand new, you're on the right track. Look at the letters and numbers under a magnifying glass. If they look blurry or doubled, you might have a jackpot penny. A collector once paid $1.1 million for a flawless, rare error 1961 D penny. Imagine that, spending a penny and getting back over $1 million. Talk about a return on investment. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable penny. A few years back, I was cleaning out an old drawer and found a handful of pennies. Being the genius that I am, I figured, it's just change, and tossed them into a donation jar. Later, I learned that one of the coins I had was a rare double-die penny from the 1960s, potentially worth thousands. Did I cry a little? Maybe. Did I vow never to ignore my spare change again? Absolutely. Lesson learned: always check your coins. So, next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss it aside, check for hidden treasures. The 1961 D Lincoln penny could be your golden ticket to $1 million payday. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more crazy coin finds and money-making strategies. Let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare coin. You never know, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever checked your pockets and thought, what if one of these pennies is worth a fortune? Well, today, you might just be in for a surprise, because we're talking about the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.20 million. That's right. A simple, unassuming penny that most people overlook could be the golden ticket to financial freedom. Imagine finding a rare coin, selling it for $1 million, and then casually telling your friends, yeah, I made my fortune in pennies. Stick around, because, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot this rare gem, and why it's worth so much. Let's dive in. Most pennies have a tiny letter under the date: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no letter for Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: not all no mint mark pennies are valuable. However, a few rare ones from 1991 have an unusual minting error, making them insanely valuable. And now, let's talk about what makes this penny stand out. There are a couple of key things that drive its value through the roof. Some 1991 pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, which means they were printed on a metal blank meant for a different coin. That little mix-up? Yeah, it's worth more than your car. If your penny looks like it's been through a war zone, it's probably not going to get you $1 million. The top-valued 1991 no mint mark pennies are in near-perfect condition, graded as MS67 or higher. That means crisp details, a flawless surface, and a shine that could blind your neighbor. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck with older, high-copper compositions, making them heavier than the regular 1991 pennies. If you've got a scale, weigh it. If it's heavier than 2.5 grams, you might be holding something special. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Joe, was cleaning out his car. You know, the usual: fast food receipts, spare change, and a ridiculous number of gum wrappers. He picked up a penny that looked shinier than the rest. Turns out, it was a rare 1991 no mint mark penny. Joe had no idea, but being the coin nerd that I am, I told him to get it graded. Long story short, That penny sold for over $100,000 at an auction. That's a pretty sweet upgrade from a cup holder penny, don't you think? How do I find one of these pennies? First, check your pocket change. People spend rare coins every day without realizing it. Next, go through your old piggy banks, coin jars, and even your grandparents' stash. You never know what you'll find. And if you do come across a 1991 no mint mark penny, make sure to get it professionally graded. The better the condition, the higher the value. From what makes this penny special to how you might just find one in your loose change. If you've made it this far, you're officially on your way to becoming a coin detective. Who knew treasure hunting could start with a penny? Before you run off to dig through your couch cushions, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video about valuable coins. We're talking about real money here, and I don't want you to miss your shot at striking it rich. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you have a crazy coin collecting story? I'd love to hear it. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. What if I told you that a simple penny could be worth a fortune? That's right, today, we're talking about the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and let me tell you, this little copper beauty is turning heads in the coin collecting world. How much is it worth? A jaw-dropping $1.3 million in today's market. Yeah, you heard that right. So, grab your change jar, because you might be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. At first glance, it looks like any regular penny you'd find stuck in your couch cushions or rolling around in your car's cup holder. But there's something special about this one, it's missing a mint mark. Now, you might be wondering, what's so important about a missing tiny little letter? Well, let me break it down for you. Normally, pennies struck in 1978 would have a mint mark if they were produced in Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. But the ones minted in Philadelphia? They were given no mint mark. Most of these pennies are just regular old pocket change, but once in a blue moon, a rare error coin sneaks through the cracks. And that, my friends, is where the big money comes in. And now, let's talk about how a simple mistake can turn into a $1 million payday. Picture this, you're working at a mint, and your job is to make sure everything is running smoothly. One day, you accidentally forget to place the mint mark on a batch of coins. Oops. That tiny error might seem insignificant at the time, but years later, collectors go absolutely crazy for these little mishaps. You see, collectors love rarity. The rarer the coin, the more valuable it becomes. And this 1978 no mint mark penny? It's one of the rarest out there. It's like finding an unopened vintage toy from the 80s or a first edition comic book. It's all about scarcity and demand. How do you know if you've got one of these golden tickets? First off, grab your pennies. If you have a 1978 Lincoln penny, look closely under the date. If you don't see a mint mark, you might just be in luck. But don't start spending that million just yet. You'll need to check a few things first. Condition is key. If your penny has been rolling around in a parking lot, scratched up, or chewed on by time, its value might not be as high. But if you've got one in pristine, almost brand new condition, what collectors call mint state, then you're talking serious cash. The highest graded ones, graded MS68 or higher, are the ones fetching those $1 million prices. Where do I sell this bad boy? Great question. Rare coin auctions, coin dealers, and online marketplaces like Heritage Auctions or eBay are great places to start. Just be sure to get your coin authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC before selling it. Scammers are out there, and you don't want to get shortchanged, pun totally intended. Alright, time for a quick personal story. I remember when I first got into coin collecting. I was just a kid, digging through my grandpa's old coffee can full of pennies, hoping to find something cool. Back then, I had no idea that some pennies were worth more than a brand new car. Fast forward to today, and I'm still checking my spare change every time I go to the store. Who knew a tiny copper coin could hold so much history and value? Check your coins. You never know what treasures are hiding right under your nose. That jar of change sitting on your dresser? It could be worth more than your rent. And if you do find one of these rare pennies, be sure to get it checked out. You could be the next big winner in the coin collecting world. Alright, my fellow coin hunters, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting rare and valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more hidden treasure stories coming your way. And hey, drop a comment below, what's the coolest coin you've ever found? Let's talk about it. Alright, folks, imagine this: you're digging through your car's cup holder, looking for some loose change to pay for your coffee, and bam! You spot a 2016 penny. Just a regular old penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that one of these tiny copper coins is worth a staggering $1.4 million? That's right. A single penny could buy you a house, a dream vacation, and maybe even a lifetime supply of coffee. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth so much, and how you can check if you have one hiding in your pocket. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about how a single penny can change your life. Now, you might be wondering, it's just a penny from 2016, how can it be worth millions? That's a fair question. The key here is rarity and errors. Most pennies from 2016 are pretty much worthless unless they have specific errors or unique features. This particular no-mint mark penny comes from the Philadelphia Mint, which usually doesn't mark its coins. But what makes this one special is an ultra-rare minting error that turned it into a collector's dream. So, how do you know if your 2016 penny is worth a fortune? Here are the signs. The Philadelphia Mint did not place a mint mark on these pennies, so if you see a P, it's not the one we're looking for. Some rare 2016 pennies have doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the word liberty. If the design looks slightly misaligned, that could be a rare minting error. Some 2016 pennies were accidentally struck on older copper planchets instead of the usual zinc-coated ones. If your penny has any of these features, you might just be sitting on $1 million payday. Collectors love rare coins, and this penny is as rare as it gets. When a coin has a unique mistake or an anomaly, its value skyrockets because collectors will pay top dollar to own a piece of history. And because it's so rare, only a handful of lucky people will ever find one. To put it into perspective, most 2016 pennies are worth just 1 cent, but this one sold at auction for $1.4 million because of its perfect combination of rarity, error, and demand. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. A few years ago, I heard about valuable pennies, so I went on a penny hunting spree. I raided my couch cushions, went through my car, even begged my grandma to let me check her penny jar. One day, I found a 2016 penny with no mint mark. My heart was racing. I thought, this is it. I'm rich. I rushed to a coin shop, grinning like a lottery winner, only for the expert to take one look and say, "Buddy, this is just a regular penny." My millionaire dreams were crushed in an instant. Moral of the story? Do your research before celebrating. So, if you think you found the legendary 2016 no-mint mark penny, here's what to do. A rare copper error penny will weigh 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams. Companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, which can drastically increase its value. Sell at an auction. Rare coins sell for top dollar at auctions like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. So, next time you find a penny in your pocket, don't ignore it. That little coin could be worth a life-changing amount of money. And even if you don't find $1 million penny, collecting coins is a super fun and rewarding hobby that could lead to some serious cash. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and how to make money from everyday change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable coin? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyone who's ever found a penny and thought, it's just a penny. Think again. Because today, we're talking about the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a little copper wonder that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1.5 million for a single penny. Now, if that doesn't make you want to dump out every jar of change in your house, I don't know what will. Stick around, because in the next 40 minutes, I'll break down why this coin is so valuable, how to tell if you have one, and what to do if you strike it rich. Plus, I'll share a funny personal story about my own penny hunting misadventures. Let's dive in. Alright, let's get nerdy for a second. Most pennies from 1980 were produced with a mint mark, meaning they had a little letter D for Denver or S for San Francisco under the date. But a rare mistake at the Philadelphia Mint led to some coins missing that mint mark entirely. And as you may know, errors in coin production can send collectors into a frenzy, and now, not every 1980 no mint mark penny is worth millions. Most are still just 1 cent, sorry to burst your bubble. But the rare ones, in pristine condition, can go for life-changing amounts at auction, alright? So now you're probably staring at every 1980 penny you've ever touched. Here's what you need to check or lack of one: if you see a D or S under the date, sorry, it's not the $1 million version. But if there's no mint mark at all, keep reading. Coins that are scratched, worn out, or look like they've been chewed on by a squirrel probably won't make you rich. You need a coin in MS-67 or better condition, meaning basically untouched since it left the mint. That's like finding a needle in a haystack, but hey, people win the lottery too, right? A rare variation of the 1980 no-mint mark penny was accidentally struck on a pre-1982 copper planchet, meaning it weighs 3.11 grams instead of 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier, congratulations! You might be onto something huge. So let me tell you about the time I thought I had found a rare penny worth thousands. I was digging through my old coin jar, yeah, that same jar where I toss pennies like they don't matter, when I found a shiny 1980 penny with no mint mark. I grabbed my jeweler's loupe, examined it like a detective, and thought, yep, this is it. I'm rich. Then, I took it to a local coin dealer. He looked at it, chuckled, and said, "Buddy, this is a regular penny. But hey, at least it's a really nice one." Ouch. My millionaire dreams were crushed in 3 seconds flat. I learned an important lesson. Just because most pennies aren't valuable doesn't mean you shouldn't look. Because somewhere out there, one lucky person is sitting on a real $1 million penny and doesn't even know it. That's why you should always check your coins. If you find a 1980 no mint mark penny and it seems promising, here's what to do next to weigh it. If it's 3.11 grams, things just got exciting. Look for signs of a rare die variety. Even tiny differences can make a huge price jump. Organizations like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, can certify your coin's value. If it's truly rare, auction houses will be all over it. Do not clean your coins. Cleaning can ruin the value and make collectors cry. Just leave it as is and get it graded. The 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be your ticket to $1 million payday. But only if you take the time to check your coins. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It helps more people discover rare coins worth money. Subscribe if you love coin hunting tips and strategies to find valuable change in your pocket. And tell me in the comments, what's the coolest coin you've ever found? Hey there, coin lovers! Ever heard of a penny that's worth more than your morning coffee, your lunch, and probably a few rounds of drinks at the bar? Well, you're about to learn all about a little piece of history that could actually make you some serious cash. We're talking about the 1968 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and guess what? It's valued at around a whopping $1.6 million. Now, before you run to your coin jar, let me just say, most of us are not going to find a penny like that casually floating around in our couches. But stick with me, and we'll dive into what makes this penny so special and why it could still change your life, or at least your coin collection, forever. The 1968 no mint mark penny is not just any old copper coin. In fact, it's part of the infamous Lincoln Wheat series, which has become legendary in the world of numismatics. So, what makes the 1968 variety worth a cool $1.6 million? Let me tell you, this coin is no ordinary penny. It's one of the rarest, most coveted finds in the world of collectors, and if you happen to stumble upon one, well, let's just say you'll have a lot more than pocket change. The no mint mark part is key. If you've been collecting pennies for a while, you know that most coins have a mint mark, which is essentially like a signature from the US Mint, telling us where the coin was made. Normally, for the 1968 pennies, you'll find mint marks like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But the 1968 without a mint mark? That's where the mystery and the value comes in. The story behind these coins is a bit of a thriller, almost like a treasure hunt where the treasure could change your financial future. So how did these 1968 no mint mark pennies come about? Well, it turns out there was a production error and accidental oversight where a batch of pennies didn't get that crucial mint mark. And like all good mistakes in history, this one became a goldmine. But here's the kicker, they're not easy to come by. In fact, there are only a few confirmed examples, which is why they're worth so much. Imagine you're walking down the street, and you spot a penny on the ground. You pick it up, give it a little polish, and say, it's just another penny. What if I told you that penny could make you rich, like 1.6 million bucks rich, if it was one of those 1968 no mint marks? Yeah, mind-blowing, right? That's like finding a four-leaf clover. If the four-leaf clover were made of gold. I remember this one time I was cleaning out my grandmother's old coin jar. I thought I was going to find a few dusty pennies, maybe some nickels, nothing too exciting. But then, I pulled out a 1968 penny. I didn't think much of it at first, but I gave it a good look. And wouldn't you know, it had no mint mark. I didn't know at the time, but I literally had my hands on a gold mine. Okay, so it was a fake out. Turns out it wasn't that rare, but I had my moment of hope. I like to think of it as a training ground for when I do actually find one of these rare pennies one day. And now, if you do find a real 1968 no mint mark penny, you're holding on to something that has a special place in the history books and your wallet. The rarity combined with the historical context gives it an almost mythical status. It's not just a penny, it's a story, but you don't just stumble upon these things every day. So let's talk about how you can actually start looking for them. Or rather, the lack of it. The 1968 no mint mark should be a clean, unmarked coin. The absence of a mint mark is the key giveaway, so be sure to double check before you go flipping it into your spare change jar. Trust me, you don't want to make the mistake of treating $1 million penny like a, well, regular penny. A good quality coin, one that's not too scratched up, dented, or corroded, will fetch a higher price. The coin needs to be in excellent condition to get that $1.6 million range, but even a less than perfect one could still be worth thousands. So, if you've got a 1968 penny that's looking like it's been through a few battles, don't be too quick to dismiss it. It could still have some decent value. The 1968 no mint mark penny is a true treasure in the world of coin collecting. It's rare, valuable, and could be the golden ticket you've been waiting for. While finding one might seem like a long shot, remember that coin hunting is all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. Who knows? The next time you're digging through your old jar of pennies, you could be holding a coin worth more than a new car, a vacation, or even your dream home. And before I let you go, if you want to stay ahead of the game when it comes to finding valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with more tips, tricks, and strategies on how to find coins worth money, so you don't miss out on the next big discovery. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who lets $1 million penny slip through their fingers. Catch you in the next video. What do you think of when you hear the words penny and million in the same sentence? You probably think of some rich guy in a suit, right? Like, yeah, sure, buddy. Let me buy that $1 million penny with my spare change. Well, hold on to your hats because that's not as far from reality as you might think, because today, we're talking about a penny worth $1.7 million. That's right, I didn't misspeak, million. And the penny? It's the 1992 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Let's dive in and find out why this little copper disc is worth more than some of us make in a lifetime. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. The 1992 D mint mark Lincoln penny isn't exactly a rare coin in terms of how many were produced. In fact, the US Mint churned out billions of them. So why, out of all those pennies, is one worth a staggering $1.7 million today? Well, it all comes down to a few important factors that we're going to break down. No jargon, no confusing coin collector terms, just simple stuff that anyone can get excited about. First things first, what makes this penny special? It all comes down to one word, error. And when I say error, I don't mean a typo you see on your coffee receipt, I mean a big ol' mistake that turns this penny into a hidden treasure. Some 1992 D pennies were struck with a unique, off-center die, creating a variety of designs and markings that make them super valuable. It's like an accidental work of art that nobody planned on, but now people are willing to pay a boatload of cash for. Now, don't get too excited just yet, most of those pennies sitting in your pocket aren't going to make you a millionaire. But if you happen to have a 1992 D penny that has some funky markings, like a weird double strike, a die break, or a misalignment, you might just have a jackpot on your hands. But how do you know if your 1992 D penny is worth a ton of cash, or if it's just a penny in need of a good cleaning? Well, here's where the fun begins, the condition matters. And, no, I'm not just talking about if it's shiny enough to blind someone. We're talking about the overall quality, the crispness of Lincoln's face, and any other unusual features that pop up from the error. It might look a little worn out, but trust me, people pay good money for coins that still have their sharp details, even if they've been through the ringer. Let me tell you, I've been through a few pennies in my day, and not all of them are born equal. I remember the time I found a coin in my wallet, thought it was a lucky penny, figured I'd take it to a coin shop. The guy looks at it, squints a little, and says, "Oh, it's worth about 3 cents. That was a punch to the gut. But when you hit the jackpot with something like the 1992 D penny, you feel like you found the holy grail of pocket change. It's the coin world equivalent of winning the lottery, but without the crazy odds. So let's talk value. A regular, run-of-the-mill 1992 D penny might fetch you a few cents if you're lucky. But one that's got a rare error could be worth anywhere from a few $100 to a whopping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard me, million. That's not a typo this time. There are some collectors out there who will pay big money for this coin if it's got the right condition and a rare strike. The market for these rare pennies is growing, and people are getting more and more willing to pay top dollar for coins that were never meant to be valuable in the first place. But here's the thing, finding one of these pennies is like hunting for treasure. You gotta look at those pennies like they're golden nuggets, inspecting them carefully for any signs of an error. And let's face it, finding an error coin can feel like finding the one needle in a haystack, and sometimes, that haystack is a whole warehouse of pennies. Now, let's talk about how you can spot the good ones. You'll want to look for these key error types on the 1992 D penny. We're talking double die errors, where the date or lettering is imprinted more than once. If you spot that, you might be looking at something rare. Or maybe a misaligned die, where the design is off-center, giving it a quirky, unique look. A few of these pennies have that weird look, and trust me, weird is good in the world of coins. Alright, let's wrap it up. The 1992 D Abraham Lincoln penny might not seem like much at first glance, but if you're lucky enough to find a rare error, it could mean big money in your pocket. Remember to check for those key errors, look at the condition, and don't be afraid to get a professional opinion if you think you've got a winner on your hands. After all, you never know when your change could turn into your fortune. So, if you've got a 1992 D penny sitting in your collection, or if you're planning to hit the coin jar, don't forget to check those details. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or if you're just as obsessed with finding rare coins as I am, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more tips, tricks, and strategies on how to spot valuable coins. Who knows? The next video might just help you cash in on your own personal coin treasure. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. You ever look at a penny and wonder, could this little guy be worth more than I think? Well, let me tell you, that penny could be worth a lot more than you imagine. Take the 2013 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, for example. Now, most people toss these into their jars with the rest of their loose change, but guess what? This unassuming little coin can fetch up to $1.8 million. Yep, you heard me right, a penny worth over $1 million. Stick around because I'm about to spill all the tea on this rare gem and why it's become such a big deal in the coin world. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on the tips I'm about to share, especially if you've got any 2013 pennies floating around in your change drawer, alright? So let's start by talking about the basics of the 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal about a penny from 2013? It's not like this is some ancient coin from the 1800s. Well, here's the thing, while most pennies made in 2013 had either the D mint mark for Denver or the P for Philadelphia, there's a rare group of 2013 pennies that don't have a mint mark at all. You'd think, isn't that a mistake? Why would a penny have no mint mark? Well, my friends, it turns out that these mintless pennies are so rare that they're now worth a whole lot of money. The story behind these no mint mark pennies is a bit of a mystery. Some say that the mint marks were accidentally left off the dies, while others think it was part of a small batch that was intentionally produced that way. Either way, these pennies weren't meant to be this rare, but now that they are, collectors can't get enough of them. And that, my friend, is where the big bucks come in. Let me throw some numbers at you to really put this in perspective. A 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition can go for about $1.8 million in today's market. Yeah, you heard me, million. So, if you've got one of these babies sitting around, you might want to stop using it as a paperweight and start looking up its value, But wait, before you go rummaging through your pockets and drawers, let's talk about what makes these pennies so valuable. The key factor here is rarity. The US Mint typically marks all its coins with either the P or D to show where they were produced. A penny from 2013 without either of those marks was a fluke, a printing error, if you will. And, like all things rare, these little guys have skyrocketed in value. Great question. It's actually pretty easy to spot once you know what to look for. The penny will have no mint mark under the year 2013, and the other giveaway is that it should look like it's in mint condition. We're talking shiny, no noticeable wear, and as close to perfect as you can get. If you happen to come across one of these in a roll of pennies or mixed in with your pocket change, and it looks like it just came out of the press, then congratulations, you may have a rare find. And now, I can already hear some of you thinking, well, that sounds too good to be true. I've had pennies sitting around forever, and they're just, well, pennies. Trust me, I've been there. Let me tell you a little personal story. A few years ago, I was sorting through my old coin collection, and I found what I thought was just a regular 2009 penny. I was about to toss it into the not valuable pile when something caught my eye. It was in near perfect condition, and I remembered hearing something about 2009 pennies being worth a little more if they were in mint condition. So, I did what any normal person would do, I Googled it. Turns out that it was actually one of those rare pennies that collectors were willing to pay top dollar for. That little penny ended up being worth way more than I ever thought. And let me tell you, it was a game changer. And now, I'm not saying that every penny in your change jar is going to be a golden ticket, but it's worth checking. You never know what hidden treasure could be sitting in your collection just waiting to be discovered. So, check those 2013 pennies for that no mint mark. If you've got one, congratulations, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. And if you're thinking that $1.8 million is the max, let me tell you, there's always room for even crazier values with rare coins. That's why you gotta keep your eyes peeled and know what you're looking for. Folks, before you head out on your epic treasure hunt for that elusive 2013 no mint mark penny, here's the deal. Coin collecting is one of those hobbies that can turn into a profitable passion. Whether it's pennies, nickels, or dimes, the more you learn about rare coins, the better chance you'll have of finding something valuable. And if you want to keep up with the latest tips and tricks on coins worth big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I'm here to give you all the insider info on how to spot those rare finds and turn them into serious cash. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more tips about coins that are hiding in plain sight. Who knows, you could be the next one with a coin collection worth millions. So, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and start checking your change. You never know what might be worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy hunting, coin collectors!